Well, let's move this forward and talk some X's and O's because this defense is going to have to try and slow down the savior, the godlike figure that is Tom Brady rolling up into Gillette. And I was talking about this with Burge, like, what is the tactic that Bill Belichick is going to take here? Is it going to be a tactic of, well, listen, we're going to rush forward, we're going to flood the zones, and we're going to hope that our defensive line gets to him and causes him to move off his spot. If that's the case, then they better get there and try to move off the spot, or else they're gonna Brady's gonna absolutely pick apart that zone. So in your guys' mind, like, what do you think is going to be the tactic here that Bill Belichick is going to take moving into this game?
Honestly, 10 Hail Marys, because I mean really, like 10 Hail Marys and rosary beads. I mean, if you go to zone, Brady's going to pick you apart. And if you go to man, God bless you with, Godwin and Mike Evans.
Jalen Mills.
Antonio Brown's going to be back. Your favorite player, Jalen Mills. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. Honestly, it's going to have to be pressure on the front four. Like, the front four is going to have to get home, and they're going to have to. I heard this a couple of places today, and this is kind of talk that was going back to the Washington football team game in the playoffs, where everyone, including myself, was like, if Chase Young, Daron Payne, Jonathan Allen, if they can get up in his face, up the middle, and just put pressure on him, they have a puncher's chance. And that didn't happen. Maybe they didn't show up. Maybe the Bucs offensive line is that good to weather the storm. But I think that's going to have to be the blueprint, is the front four is going to have to get in Brady's face and get at his feet, and whatever happens, happens. And you're just going to have to live and die that way.
Well, I mean, that's easier said than done, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's always the book on Brady, is you try to get in his face. And, the problem is, though, he gets the ball out so quick in 2.5 seconds that it doesn't matter what kind of rush you're bringing, right?
Right.
And let's say, if he gets the ball out so quick, you've got to eventually disguise some stuff before snap to post snap to essentially, fool him a little bit. But once you're doing that with a team that has issues getting lined up, I feel like that could cause even more issues. You feel me? Like, it seems to be this bigger issue with the Patriots in itself, that whatever they're going to try to do on Sunday might not work in their favor.
Right. Burge, what were you going to say about the X's and O's?
I was going to basically say that, Jay, you and I talked about this before Puma, you jumped on the recording here, is that, I almost think that you're going to see kind of, and I'm not saying it's going to be the same performance or anything like that, but more or less how Belichick and the Patriots defended the Rams in 2001, where you throw a bunch of DBs out there and you just let them flood the secondary. The Bucs have not given any inclination that they can effectively run the ball all year. So I think that the Patriots may end up trying to bait the Bucs to run the ball. And with me saying that, I think that Brady is going to tell his buffoon of a coaching staff that he's got down there that this is what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to take away your strength and make you beat them in a different spot. And let's be honest, the running game for the Bucs has been atrocious this year. Mm-hmm. And they have not proven that they can effectively run it. Obviously Brady has put up out of this world numbers so far through 3 games with that team down there. Despite the game that they had last week, I'm pretty sure Brady threw for like 400 and something yards in that game. Like, yeah. So like, it's almost got a vibe for me that we're going to get a bend don't break type of game plan from the Patriots defense in this game, where they're going to I'm not going to be surprised if you see them give him the short passes and let him dip and dunk all the way down the field and hope and basically bank on your defense stopping in the goal line.
Yeah, and quick question on that. And sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
Brady is 62 yards away from passing Drew Brees for the all-time record in regards to passing yardage. Do they stop the game and do something for him? And secondly, I got the Mountain Dew flowing as well.
Oh my God! No, I don't. I think it'll be quick, and I think it would be an insult to the Patriots players that are on the field in that game if they make a whole big to do about this thing in their home stadium. Yes, Brady left the team, but let's be honest. Not many of these players on the Patriots team have a real stock in the whole Bill versus Brady thing. Like, you got a lot of new guys here. You have the Matt Slaters, you have Devin McCourties. You have a lot of these guys that don't have a lot invested in the whole Brady Bill debate. So I think it'll be quick. I think they'll do something for it. Like it'll be like a quick celebration. It'll be quick, but it's not going to be anything like extravagant, like what you saw from like Peyton Manning when he broke the touchdown record and all that, and Drew Brees when he broke the passing record in his home stadium. I don't think you're going to see that. What was your second question again? I tuned that out.
I opened my Mountain Dew. It was flowing.
Okay. All right.
I'll say I think Bob Kraft is going to be on board with doing not like a freaking Saints half-hour-esque extravaganza.
It was like 18 minutes, wasn't it?
I think so. I mean, it was close to a half hour. I mean, 18 to 30 minutes. But I think something's going to happen. I think Bob Kraft wants to be kept kind of in good favor with Tom. I think he'll do him a solid, and we'll probably get to Bob Kraft and the whole Bill versus Brady relationship later on in the pod. But that is my opinion. Is I think something like that magnitude would happen in Foxborough, because whether or not let's just be honest. Like this came up a lot today on Boston radio and other media outlets. Tom never had a chance to say goodbye. Mm-hmm. So, like, this might be, like, yeah, I broke the passing record in your house, but, like, I did it in the house that I fucking built, for Christ's sake.
Now, I'll say that real quick, Jay, before you go on this. He will do it, but I don't think it's going to be in Brady's interest to do it. Like, we all hear about Brady, about how, like, he doesn't like the spotlight. He's not like into that whole thing. I really don't think that he's going to want that. I think he's going to want the game to move on and to play. So I think that's going to play into it as well. And it's going to be very early in this game. It may even be the first drive for all we know.
The first drive, for Christ's sake. Throwing the ground.
Well, if I was...
that's where I think.
If I was Belichick, I would send out all the guys with single-digit numbers. Really freak him out. Really throw Brady off his game. No, if I was Belichick, and the Weasley that he is, I would send somebody over. I would send somebody over to check those footballs on the side of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That would really, really get into Brady's head,
Yeah, well, I mean, Brady came out and said it. I mean, it very well could be a thing. I mean, they have, 3 guys on defense that have single-digit numbers, and Bentley, who may not even play in this game, Judon and Mills. And we all know how I think all 3 of us feel about Jalen Mills, with the Patriots. So
welcome aboard.
Puma, congratulations. I'm going to give you that one. So
what do I tell you?
Go ahead, Jay. Go. Well, you were right about that. And listen, in regards to who I think needs to step up the most, obviously it's going to be those interior defensive linemen. It's going to be those, Barmores, Godchow, Guy, all those guys. If those guys have a massive game, that's when obviously the Patriots have a real shot. You bring Uche and Judon off the edges. That doesn't really matter. Brady is so good in the pocket. He moves up, moves left, moves right. He can easily elude edge pressure, but that up the middle pressure is obviously going to be key here. And to give you my prediction on the game, I think the Buccaneers are going to win. It's going to be much closer than people expect, because I'm of the belief that it never pans out the way the narrative is set up, because everybody knows that the Patriots look down right now. The Buccaneers look like they're defending Super Bowl champs, obviously. It's going to come in and be a 50-point bloodbath. I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, I'd love that, but the way it's going to pan out, it's going to be a 32-24 kind of game with the Bucs winning it in my mind.
Puma, you next.
I'm gonna go with the Buccaneers winning. I mean, they're 7-point favorites right now on our unofficial sports book, DraftKings Sportsbook. 7-point favorites. The over/under is at 49. I am gonna be completely transparent. I am here for the freaking Al Pacino scent of a woman scene.
Yeah. Drop that grenade.
Scent of a woman scene where he says, "If I take a flamethrower to this place." I think Tom is going to make it a point. I think Bruce Arians is going to make it a point too. Of we're going to run the score up. Like if it's out of hand, I don't think they're going to call the dogs off. I expect it to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be pretty. And we can all agree that the secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can be beaten, especially since Sean Murphy-Bunting isn't there. He's on IR. They haven't looked the same through 3 weeks. But the fact of the matter is, Mac Jones isn't having enough time to get the ball down the field, and when he is, his receivers aren't getting any separation, or they're bobbling the ball to cause an interception, whatever. I don't see it happening, and I will take the L. I will have a big investment on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover 7, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and whatever, it happens. But I am here for the bloodbath at Foxborough, sticking it to the old man, especially Bruce Arians. He is that type of dude to me. Like, he is going to look out for his guys, and let's go. I'm here for it.
What's the final score, Puma?
Oh God, the over/under is 49. I don't know, 30 to Jesus. 35 to like 7. If New England can get 17 points, I'll call that a small victory.
Okay. Look at that. Look at what has happened. That Puma, the biggest Brady hater I knew, is actively rooting for Tom Brady. Wow. What world do we live in?
What world?
All right.
Life comes at you fast.
All right.
Look at what's happened here, Birds. Puma is rooting for Tom Brady. Wow.
That doesn't surprise me because, actually, you know what? Actually, it does surprise me because Puma likes to root for his division rivals. Let's be honest.
There we go.
All right?
There we go.
He likes to root for his division rivals, and just because the Patriots had all that success, he hates them. But, look, going into this game, this needs to be a game the Patriots need to have. I think this is a game that the Patriots need to have more than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In terms of their season this year, I have the Patriots covering the 7 points. I'm not gonna doubt the fact that they're gonna come up with some first half game plan to defend Tom Brady, like they have done against the Kansas City Chiefs and all these other teams, where they come out and they have this amazing scripted game plan for the defense to limit the offense in this game, and then leave it up to adjustments in the second half to kind of limit it again. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, and I'm going to take the Patriots to cover the 7 points. I'm not going to tell them say that they're going to win the game, but they cover the 7 points. I'm going to be very happy, and. Parker agrees with me on this. I'll just throw that out there. My little boy agrees with me on this.
And wait a minute. His name is not Parker. He's Sharp Parker.
Shark Parker. Sharp or Sharp?
Sharp.
Yep. Parker agrees with me on this. He was definitive from the beginning. There was no bias involved in this.
Here we go.
You can ask.
You probably put like 5 stacks on New England.
I want chain of custody on these picks. Okay, I want to see where it broke down.
Listen. I really do believe that they're going to have some first half game plan in this game where they're going to limit the Bucks. We'll say to 2 touchdowns, 14 points. And I know that's not saying a lot, given in the grand scheme of things, but I think that they will be in the game at halftime, and then it will be up to the coaching staff and the players to execute in the second half. And I'm going to pick the Bucks to win, but I believe that the Patriots will cover the 7 points.
Okay, so 32-24 is my score. Puma's 35-17. You want to venture a guess in the final score?
I'm going to go... I'm going to say 28-21. Nah, actually, disregard. That's 7 points, isn't it? I'm going.
That's a push. It's not a loss. Actually, I think they might even cover as long as they don't lose by more than 7. It's good.
You put me on a spot. I didn't come up with a score in this game.
28.
Let's go 31-28.
31-28.
There you go.
Sounds good.